Morning, Ned.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Fine.
Good morning, Layan. Good morning, Haneen. Welcome to the lesson. I'm waiting for the rest to join.
Miss, can you send the MCQ worksheet for
Layan? Yeah, sure. For all the final, what all topics are included for the final exam, I've included everything in the revision sheet which I've uploaded, along with the answers. All right. So you need the MCQ worksheet for which topic? The topic which is covered in the final exam, or which is not covered?
Yeah. For the nutrition and absorption.
Nutrients and homeostasis, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I included all those questions in the revision sheet. Everything is in there. Even if you want it separately, then I'll give you the MCQ worksheet only for this topic, inshallah. Did you go through the revision sheet?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, ladies, I uploaded the revision sheet. I want you all to start practicing, and I made a folder on the Teams named as Final Exam Resources. So all the PPTs which are included for your final exam and the revision sheet is included there. So you need not separately again go and study the worksheets. All the MCQ questions, all the structured questions, and even more are added in the revision sheet. So you have to study only from the revision sheet. All right? Any more doubts or questions you have? Okay, then let's get started. Layan, we are done with the chromosomes and meiosis, right? We are yet to solve the worksheet, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's quickly summarize the topic and start solving the worksheet, inshallah. So let's get started. We were doing chapter 6.1, which we are almost done, which I'm going to summarize quickly now. Chromosomes and meiosis, chapter 6.1. So let's start with the verse from the Quran. Rabbi zidni ilma, Rabbi inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a, Allah increase as in beneficial knowledge. The objectives for this topic were to differentiate between the body cells and the gametes, and also to compare and contrast the autosomes and sex chromosomes. So we studied the gametes have half the number of chromosomes that body cells or the somatic cells have, and we discussed about the two types of cells which are present in our body, which are the germ cells, otherwise known as the sex cells or gametes, and the somatic cells or the body cells. The humans, they have 23 pairs of chromosomes, and 23 into 2, if you could say, count the number of chromosomes is 46, right? And it differs from fruit flies to the other types of organisms. Some have more, especially the fern plant, it has the maximum number of chromosomes, which is 1200 compared to a human. Now, as you can see, the germ cells are located in the ovaries and the testes, and they are known as the gametes or the sex cells, and they have the DNA that can be passed on to the offsprings. So again, the chromosomes which are present in our body, the 46 chromosomes, they are again divided into autosomes and sex chromosomes. So out of these 46 chromosomes, 22 pairs of chromosomes which are responsible for your physical traits are the autosomes, which you of course inherit from your parents and grandparents, and the remaining one set of chromosomes are known as the sex chromosomes, which is either X or Y. So you get only X from your mother, and from your father you can get either X or Y. So if it is a combination of X and X, it is a girl, and if it is a combination of X and Y, it is a boy. So we discussed about these chromosomes and autosomes in detail, as you can see on the screen over here. All right, and we also discussed what are the homologous chromosomes. So the chromosomes which are similar in structure and shape are known as homologous chromosomes. So all these 22 pairs of autosomes, as you can see in this picture, they are known as homologous pairs because they have the same structure. Okay, so for each homologous pair, one chromosome comes from each parent. So these autosomes which you have, which determine your various physical traits in your body, you get one each from your parent. And these, the rest of the 23rd pair of chromosomes, it is the sex chromosomes. And yesterday we discussed about the body cells are diploid and gametes are haploid. Then fertilization happens when the egg and the sperm, they combine, and The nucleus of the egg combines with the nucleus of the sperm to form one nucleus. So as division happens in half, this process is considered as meiosis. This new nucleus must have the correct number of chromosomes, which is 46 for humans, so that the child which is developing is a healthy child. So as you can see in this picture, these are the body cells which have two nuclei in them, which are known as diploid or 2N. Body cells are diploid and half the chromosomes come from each parent. Whereas the gametes or sperm cells, they are haploid. Haploid means they have only one copy of each chromosome. Again, there are 23 for humans. So when a sperm and the egg, they join together to form a diploid. Okay, when somatic cells, they are diploid itself, but the germ cells, they are haploid. But each germ cell, when it combines with each other during fertilization, one N and one N, they combine together to form 2N. Clear, ladies? Right, so that is what we did. This is how a haploid cell looks like. The gamete, it has only a single N, but when a sperm combines with an egg cell, it becomes diploid. So here is explaining the process of meiosis. The germ cells in your reproductive organs, they form gametes through a process known as meiosis. It is a process that divides a diploid into a haploid cell. Okay, so we are going to study further about the various processes involved in the meiosis. As you were watching the video yesterday, it will make sense when we are studying in detail about it. Remember the differences between mitosis and meiosis, which I'm going to do it further. So that mitosis, it results in two identical diploid cells. In mitosis, it is used for development, growth, and repair. In contrast, meiosis results in 4 haploid cells that are unique. And meiosis happens only in the germ cells to make gametes. Meiosis will be presented in detail in the next topics. So here you can see the various the facts which are involved in the process of mitosis. It produces genetically identical cells, results in diploid cells, takes place throughout an organism's lifetime, and it is involved in asexual reproduction. Whereas meiosis, it produces genetically unique cells, results in 4 haploid cells. It takes place only in certain times in an organism's life cycle, that is the fertile period of an organism when the organism wants to reproduce, and it is involved in sexual reproduction. All right, ladies, so that is about the topic. Do you have any doubts or questions before we move ahead and solve the worksheet? Anything you want to ask me? Let me also tell you the page number. Anybody has a textbook open in front of you? What is the page number, ladies? This is chapter 6, so it should be somewhere around 180. Yeah. 180 how much, please?
161.
161. Yeah, great. Thank you. All right, ladies. So, yeah. So please open page number 161. Yeah. So this is what we did yesterday. The entire topic I just summarized right now. Any doubts or questions you have, ladies, before we go ahead and solve the worksheet? Any questions?
No.
All clear? All right then. So please retrieve your worksheet 18 from the supporting resources, which is for chromosomes and meiosis. So let's start solving it. Question 1. We have 2 major group of cell types in the human body. They are called, what are they called? You need to tell me the answers for 1, 2, and 3 over here. Okay, this picture, I believe it needs to go down. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Till question 17. From where did this come from then? We have a concept map over here, right? This is from question 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we have, then what is this? I believe this is something else. We'll delete it. Okay. Yeah. Who's going to answer question 1? Lean, go ahead.
The two major groups of cell types in the human body are somatic cells and germ cells.
Perfect. Right answer. Thank you. They are the somatic cells, otherwise known as body cells. You can also write that, and you can also write gametes or the sex cells. All right. Number 2, Layan, please answer.
The gametes are located in the reproductive organs.
Gametes are located in the reproductive organs. Right answer. Lana Musa, could you please answer the next question? Number 3.
The number of chromosomes in a typical human body cell is 23.
In a typical human body cell is how much? Lana? Could you repeat?
23.
23 pairs. So how many together? Number of chromosomes? So you can either write 23 pairs or you can write 46 number of chromosomes. Right answer, Lana. Thank you. Let's do this concept map. Fill in the concept map below to summarize what you know. Okay, so we have the 46 chromosomes in the human body cells. Half come from dash and half come from dash. Who's going to answer this question? Anybody else who wants to answer apart from Leen, Layan and Lana? Okay, Leen, go ahead. Please answer number 4.
Half from the mother and half from the father.
Perfect. You get half of them from your mother and half of them from your father. Okay. After that, the 46 chromosomes in human body cells include the sex chromosomes, and what are the other chromosomes? Layan, number 6.
And the autosomes.
Autosomes. Perfect. Very good. Lana, could you please answer? Sex chromosomes include number 7. What are the names of the sex chromosomes?
X and Y.
Perfect. It is X and Y. And autosomes, they consist of 22 homologous pairs. All right, ladies. So these are the answers to this concept map. Let's move on to question 9. Circle the word or phrase that best completes the statement. Number 9, Leen, could you please answer?
A person with 2 X chromosomes is female.
It is a female. Perfect. Number 9, Layan. 10.
The Y chromosome carries the fewest number of genes.
Perfect. It is the Y chromosome that carries the fewest number of genes. Lana, could you please answer number 11?
During fertilization, the nuclei of the egg and sperm fuse.
Yes, they fuse together. Perfect. Yeah, Leen, go ahead with 12.
Germ cells are haploid.
Germ cells are haploid. Layan, number 13.
The haploid chromosome number in humans is 23.
Perfect. Lana, 14.
Each human gamete has 1 sex chromosome.
Yes, sex chromosome. Perfect. All right, now let's move on. Read the description in the table below and then decide which column should be called mitosis and which column should be labeled meiosis. Leen?
The first column is mitosis and the second one is meiosis.
Perfect. The first column is mitosis and the second one is meiosis. Number 17, circle all of the statements that are true for homologous chromosomes. Layan, could you answer this question?
A and B and C.
A, B, and
E.
E. Perfect. One is from the mother and one is from the father. They are a pair of chromosomes and they have the same genes, length, and overall appearance. All right, ladies, so these are the answer to the questions, structured worksheet questions. Let's also solve the MCQ worksheet. Yes, this is the MCQ worksheet. Lana, could you please answer number 1?
A kidney cell is an example of which type of cell? C?
Yes, it is a body cell or a somatic cell. Right answer. Lean number 2.
How many chromosomes are in a human gamete? 46.
Gamete.
23.
The germ cell.
23.
23. Perfect. Layan number 3.
Which of the following best describe the genetic material a person receives from his or her father? The D.
D. Perfect. 22 autosomes and an X or a Y. Right.
Can I answer? Number
Who
4.
wants to answer next?
Roya.
Yeah, Roya, go ahead. Please answer number 4.
Which phrase best describes the process of meiosis produces haploid gametes?
Perfect. D, produces haploid gametes, is the right answer. Thank you, Roya. Who wants to answer next? Ladies? Anybody else apart from Lee, Layan, Lana, and Roya? Okay, Roya, go ahead. Number 5.
First, fertilization. What happens to the sex cells? Their nuclei fuse to form one nucleus.
Perfect. C is the right answer. Thank you, Roya. All right, ladies, we are done with the chromosomes and meiosis topic. So let's start the next topic, which is the process of meiosis. So please open page number 163 from your textbooks. Yes, so this is a PPT which I've uploaded on your online resources folder. So let's get started. The process of meiosis, which is chapter 6.2, the next topic in this chapter. The objectives for this topic are to compare and contrast the 2 rounds of divisions in meiosis and to describe how haploid cells develop into mature gametes. So let's start with the verse from the Quran, as we always do. Rabbi inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a, Allah increases in beneficial knowledge. Okay, ladies. So the key concept for this topic is, during meiosis, the diploid cells undergo 2 cell divisions that result in the haploid cells. As I introduced you briefly to the process of meiosis, which is quite contrast to the process of mitosis when we discuss the differences. So during meiosis, what happens? The diploid cells, meaning the cells which determine the sex, they undergo 2 cell divisions. Okay, unlike in mitosis, there is not only one, but in meiosis, there is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 which take place that result in the haploid cell. So we'll discuss about it in detail. The main idea for this topic is cells go through 2 rounds of divisions in meiosis, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, and haploid cells develop into mature gametes. So let's get started. Sometimes division, such as splitting the bill at a restaurant or dividing people into teams for basketball, is difficult. When can it be difficult? When the number is odd, isn't it? If there are 5 people and if you want to divide them equally into 2 groups, of course you cannot divide. One will be definitely extra in either of the teams. Similarly, when you are trying to Dutch in order to pay in a restaurant anywhere, if the amount is an odd number, again it's difficult to divide equally. Isn't it, ladies? So luckily, understanding how meiosis divides chromosomes between cells is not that hard. Meiosis begins with a diploid cell that has already undergone DNA replication. Then the cell copies the chromosomes once and divides them twice, making 4 haploid cells. As we discussed in our topic 1, chromosomes and meiosis, as to how one of each sex cells, they combine together like this, okay. And then in meiosis 1, you can see this combination, and in meiosis 2, you can see the formation of 4 haploid cells, which are not identical but very unique or different from each other. Okay, so we are going to discuss the process in detail now. So the cell copies the chromosomes once and then divides them twice, making 4 haploid cells. So let's start discussing the first subtopic, which is cells go through 2 rounds of division in meiosis. If you remember the video which you watched yesterday, you can relate it to it now as to, give me a moment. Yes. So how it happens is what we are going to discuss now. So meiosis is a form of nuclear division that creates 4 haploid cells from 1 diploid cell. Why are we saying 1 diploid cell over here? Is when 1 nucleus from the sperm cell and 1 nucleus from the egg cell, when they fertilize together, we get 1 diploid cell. Isn't it? So meiosis further divides this diploid cell, this you can say the zygote further, in order to produce 4 haploid cells. So this process involves 2 rounds of cell division, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Each round of cell division has 4 phases again, which are similar to those in mitosis. To keep the 2 processes distinct in your mind, focus on the big picture. Pay attention to the way meiosis reduces the chromosome number and creates genetic diversity. So the 4 phases which we are talking about, they are exactly similar to the 4 phases of mitosis. What are they? Let's discuss about it. But always keep in mind, don't get confused between the process of meiosis and mitosis when we are studying the process of meiosis in 2. As you can see in this picture, these are cells. So this process involves 2 rounds of cell division, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Each round of cell division has 4 phases again in the process of meiosis in detail. Now, homologous chromosomes and sister chromatids, what discuss about it, but always keep in mind, don't get confused between the process of meiosis and mitosis when we are studying the process of meiosis in detail. Now, homologous chromosomes and sister chromatids, what is the difference between these two? As you can see in this picture, these are homologous chromosomes. Why? Because you can see they are exactly same in shape and structure. Isn't it, ladies? So these 2 chromosomes are known as homologous. This is 1 chromosome and this is another chromosome. Now in each chromosome, these 2 bands which you see, which are joined together at this point over here. So these 2 strands are known as sister chromatids, which are the part of the same chromosome. Alright, ladies, if you could see this green color chromosome, in this 1 strand and this 2 strand which are overlapping, they are known as the sister chromatids. So homologous chromosomes, they are 2 separate chromosomes, one inherited from the mother and one inherited from the father, whereas sister chromatids, they are part of the same chromosome. These 2 are known as sister chromatids. Now, as you learn in cell growth and division in mitosis, a condensed duplicated chromosome is made of 2 chromatids. Sister chromatids, they separate during anaphase and mitosis. So these 2 sister chromatids which are overlapping at this point over here, they divide further in one of the phases of the meiosis. Also the same happens in the phases of mitosis as well. Now, if you are drawing a Venn diagram like the one below to summarize the similarities and differences between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, you can see. So you can relate to this when we are talking about both the processes. Then you can see the chromosomes, they condense at this point. Okay, so let's talk about it further. To understand meiosis, you need to distinguish between homologous chromosomes and sister chromatids. Now you know what is the difference between homologous chromosomes and sister chromatids, isn't it? This figure, it shows homologous chromosomes, which are two separate chromosomes, one from your mother and one from your father. Imagine green is from mother and blue is from father. Now, homologous chromosomes are very similar to each other since they have the same length, they carry the same genes. Yeah, but they are not copies of each other. They are not exact copy of each other, but they resemble in the size and the structure. That is why they are known as homologous chromosomes, isn't it? So in contrast, each half of a duplicated chromosome is called a chromatid. So this half of a green chromosome is known as a chromatid, and this is another chromatid. Together, the two chromatids are known as sister chromatids. Thus, sister chromatids, they refer to the duplicated chromosomes that remain attached by the centromere. So this point at which both these sister chromatids, they are attached or they are overlapped, it is known as a centromere. So these two sister chromatids further, they divide into single chromatids when the cell division takes place. Okay, so homologous chromosomes are divided in Meiosis One, whereas sister chromatids, they are divided in Meiosis 2. Alright ladies, so this you have to remember. In Meiosis 1, the homologous chromosomes, they divide, they get separated from each other, whereas in Meiosis 2, even the single chromosome, it divides, and these sister chromosomes, the chromatids, they get separated from the centromere. I hope I'm not confusing you. Is it clear, ladies, so far? Shall we talk about the 4 phases which take place in the process of meiosis? Any doubts or questions so far?
No.
All clear?
Yes.
All right, let's also summarize from the PPT as to how far we studied so far. Who wants to read out from the slide summarizing what we studied so far about the cells? They go through 2 rounds of division in meiosis. Yeah, Roya, go ahead.
Meiosis begins with a diploid cell that already has duplicated chromosomes. There are 2 rounds of cell division, Meiosis One and Meiosis Two. The phases of meiosis are similar to the phases of mitosis. To keep the 2 processes separate in your mind, focus on the big picture. Mitosis results in identical diploid cells, and meiosis results in unique haploid cells. Meiosis reduces chromosome number and creates genetic diversity. Produces genetically unique cells, results in haploid cells, takes place only at certain times in an organism's life cycle, involved in sexual reproduction.
Perfect. Lana Musa, could you continue? Thank you, Roya. With the homologous chromosomes and sister chromatids.
We call the homologous chromosomes 2 separate chromosomes, one from your mother and one from your father. Homologous chromosomes carry the same genes in the same order. However, the copies of the genes may differ. Homologous chromosomes are copies of each other. In contrast, recall that a duplicated chromosome is made of 2 sister chromatids attached at the centromere. Sister centrosomes are typically identical copies of each other.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lana. So here the sister chromatids, they are exactly identical copies of each other if you're separating them from the centromere like this. Whereas the homologous chromosomes, though they are similar in shape and structure, they are not copies of or identical copies of each other. All right. So let's discuss about the process of meiosis in 4 phases now. Let me take you back to the textbook. Okay. So before meiosis begins, DNA has already been copied, isn't it? Meiosis 1, it divides the homologous chromosomes, producing 2 haploid cells with duplicated chromosomes. We are talking about Meiosis One, but at the end of Meiosis Two, you will get 4 haploid cells. So in Meiosis One, it divides the homologous chromosomes, producing 2 haploid cells with duplicated chromosomes inside them. Like mitosis, scientists describe meiosis in terms of phases, which are illustrated below. So the 4 phases in Meiosis One are named as Prophase One, Metaphase One, Anaphase One, and Telophase One. We are naming them 1, 1, 1, 1 because these are the 4 phases of Meiosis One. The same 4 phases again are undergone in Meiosis 2, which you will again name them as Prophase 2, Metaphase 2, Anaphase 2, and Telophase 2. So please remember, these are the 4 phases which are also involved in mitosis. Alright ladies, so these 4 phases, if you have to remember them in a sequence, please remember PMAT, PMAT, referring to prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. So let's start with prophase 1. Early in meiosis, the nuclear membrane, it breaks down. The centrosomes and centrioles, they move to the opposite sides of the cell, and spindle fibers, they start to assemble. Let me show you with, teach you with the okay, so these are the 4 phases, ladies, as you can see in this picture. Prophase 1, Metaphase 1, Anaphase 1, and Telophase 1. So meiosis 1 occurs after DNA has been replicated, and it divides these homologous chromosomes. Can you see the homologous chromosomes which are present over here? These 2 are from the mother, and these 2 are from the father. So they are divided in meiosis 1. So what happens in prophase 1 is the nuclear membrane, it breaks down. Okay, so you can say this membrane which is surrounding the homologous chromosomes over here is the nuclear membrane. That is the first step. Then the centrosomes and centrioles, they begin to move. Okay, so these things which you can see over here are the spindle fibers which are present in one end now. So these centromeres which are connecting the sister chromatids of each homologous chromosomes. So these centromeres are still intact. They are going to divide in meiosis 2. But we are talking about the centrosomes and the centrioles over here. Okay, they begin to move apart. Okay, so as you can see in metaphase 1, these homologous chromosomes are aligned like this and held in place with the help of spindle fibers. So for this to happen in prophase 1, the duplicated chromosomes, they condense, and the homologous chromosomes, they begin to pair up. So you can see the homologous chromosomes are divided now, and duplicated chromosomes, they are paired up like this. Have you seen? Now moving on to metaphase 1, you can see the spindle fibers, they align the homologous chromosomes along the cell's equator, meaning in the center of the cell. And each side of the equator has chromosomes from both the parents. Alright, so these are still intact, the chromosomes, but they have been aligned on either side of the equator of the cell, and they are held in place with the help of the spindle fibers. Now, the third phase is anaphase 1, in which the paired homologous chromosomes, they separate. Can you see it? They are separate chromosomes now, breaking from the centromere, and they separate from each other and move towards the opposite sides of the cell. The sister chromatids, they remain still attached. Okay, so these chromosomes, they are divided in half over here, and they are pulled to either side of the cell. Finally, in telophase 1, the spindle fibers, they disassemble. Okay, and the cell undergoes cytokinesis. Cytokinesis means that the division of the cytoplasm is known as cytokinesis. So this we are talking about is the division which took place in the nucleus so far. Along with this, the division of the cytoplasm also happens, so that each diploid cell, it has given rise to 2 haploid cells over here. So by the end of the meiosis 1, you can see the formation of 2 haploid cells. Have you seen here, ladies? Okay, so even the cytoplasm divides, and each cell, it divides into 2. But we cannot say these are identical cells. These are two unique cells again, because you can see different types of chromosomes which are present in these two combinations, which are different from the mother and the father. Clear? Okay, let me also show you what happens in meiosis 2, and then you can ask me questions to be happening. Okay, so these are the 4 stages which we just now checked in meiosis 1. Now let's move on to the second stage of meiosis, which is meiosis 2. Now meiosis 2, it divides sister chromatids in 4 phases. Again, prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and telophase 2. Okay, DNA is not replicated between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. The DNA still remains the same. So meiosis 2 divides sister chromatids, and the overall process produces haploid cells. So these two the cells which have been formed by the end of meiosis 1, they enter the next round, which is meiosis 2, like this. Okay, then in prophase 2, the centrosomes and the centrioles move to the opposite ends, opposite sides, and the spindle fibers, they start to assemble. Exactly like it was happening in prophase 1, the centrosomes and the centromeres, they are moving to the opposite sides again, and the spindle fibers, they are starting to assemble. And exactly like metaphase 1 and metaphase 2, the spindle fibers align the chromosomes along the cell equator in the center. And in anaphase 2, the sister chromatids, they are pulled apart from each other like this, and they move to opposite sides of the cell, dividing each cell again into 2 haploid cells. Okay, so exactly as it happened in meiosis 1, these steps happen in meiosis 2 again, but dividing these 2 further into 4 haploid cells. Okay, in anaphase 2, the sister chromatids, they are pulled apart from each other and move to the opposite sides of the cell. And then in telophase 2, the nuclear membranes form again around around these chromosomes, and the spindle fibers, they break apart, and the cell undergoes cytokinesis again, and each cell, it divides into 2 haploid cells. Altogether 4 haploid cells are formed. Okay, ladies, so this is what happens in meiosis 2. So by the end of the meiosis 2, you will see the formation of 4 unique haploid cells. Let me also explain from the textbook. Any doubts or questions so far, ladies? Is it clear?
Yes, what are the centrosomes and centrioles?
Okay. Give me a moment, Lee. Let me show you the picture and explain. Give me just a minute. Yeah. Right now, you will not be able to relate to what I'm saying, but during cell division itself, when we are talking about the division of the nucleus over here, so it is a part of the nucleus itself which comprises of 2 microtubule rings. Okay, these rings are known as centrioles, which are present. The main function of it is to organize the microtubules. Tubules which are present along with the spindle fibers like this. So these are the spindle fibers, but the microtubules are also present, aligning or you can say surrounding the chromosomes inside the nucleus. The main function is to organize the microtubules and provide a structure to the cell. So all these are parts of a nucleus, which we can say. So while the cell division takes place along with the chromosomes and along with the spindle fibers and all the other things, along with the cytoplasm which is dividing, even the centrosomes and centrioles, they divide. The function of a centriole is to provide structure to the cell, and it also pulls the chromatids apart during the cell division. Meaning all these processes, they need to happen hand in hand so that the process of cell division can take place. Let me show you if I can you all hear me, ladies?
Yes.
Let me show you if we have pictures of centrioles and centrosomes. Okay. Okay, can you see over here, Lean? So this is a cell which is taking place during cell division. Okay, so this is the time wherein the spindle fibers are aligned and they are pulling the chromosomes to each side. So this part over here, it is known as the centrosome, which helps in pulling the sister chromatids like a magnet towards each end of the cell. Okay. Yeah, these are the microtubule fibers. So if you're looking at a cell in the process of cell division, you will not be able to view the centriole and centrosomes. During the process of meiosis, it will not be shown. Only the chromosomes which are important for you will be shown. But these are the parts of the cell which are present in the nucleus and which help in the cell division. So they play a role in the process of cell division. Clearly?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I will again go through this and the process of Meiosis One and Meiosis Two again. So if you have any further doubts or questions, they can be answered. And also I shall send you a video today on the group. Please watch it carefully and come back so that we can discuss further about this topic. All right, ladies, any doubts or questions?
No, thank you.
All right, 38 attendees, then take very good care of yourselves and have a lovely day ahead, ladies. Until we meet next time, inshallah, take good care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may leave this